With a K, sometime radio broadcaster here in Honolulu. Hawaii POV, a talk story series with Fernando Pacheco. Well, when I went to your site, fernandothelovemachine.com
is where you go.
Is where you go. I have to go back and forth and back and forth. Is that a Leah song? One of my favorites on it.
What song was that? That dun 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 dun.
Are You That Somebody?
Yes.
Timbaland,
yeah.
I think, was the producer.
It was that song that kind of launched or gave me the precursor to my whole Love Machine thing. The UH Pet Band used to play that song.
Okay.
Actually, I don't know, if you want to take it farther back, I guess it's maybe Chuck E. Cheese
okay.
that kind of got me into being super physical. When the UH Band would start to play that song, I would do a dance. I remember Fila was like really huge in the 90s,
okay.
right? And they sponsored this group of dancers that would dance at all the pep games.
Okay.
Well, tuba players in general, we just like to tease everyone because we're not as cool as the drum or the drummers or the percussion section.
You're drawing attention to yourself, so it's look at me.
Yeah. I used to bring a wig with me to those games. So I would wear this crazy wig and I would just dance. I would try to steal attention from them because it was like, this is ridiculous. They're being sponsored by Fila. They're a bunch of clowns. Watch this clown. They would wear wigs. And then it got to this point where we're just fighting for attention and we'd do this dance-off, like in Stan Sheriff Center. And then that behavior continued in my life. I didn't know, like, my friends my friends used to be like, your behavior's ridiculous. That's never gonna get you anywhere.
So who took note of that side of your personality that kind of brought it up? Did you work at K2H?
I didn't. You know, some guys in my band were. I'll go through that real quickly. Take off from college and go there. So anyway, I was in 420. That was just for about a few months.
Okay.
We only did one show, and it was on the, I think, KITV morning show. So what happened was 420 broke up and was trying to look for a new band. This band called the Happy Campers, a punk band, broke up, and they were looking to start a new band. Then after I left 420, I also joined this band called the Creepers. That band broke up, and they were looking to start a new band. So these three bands joined together and started Exit 24.
Where'd you guys meet, like at Campus Center or?
There was at least one guy from each of those bands that were taking a music class or something. And so each one of those guys brought in at least a friend from their previous band. So it was like two guys from each of those bands came together and there were 6 of us. During that time, we tried to do as much as we could. Exit 24 played a lot. We played every weekend. We had 3 rehearsals a week. There was one day we would do songwriting. One day we would do run-throughs and prepare for the show. One was for vocal practice. We were all students and we didn't have much going on, you know. So during that year, we went on a tour. Well, we did a few inter-island tours, and then Jason Miller of Hawaiian Express back then.
808 shows.
808 shows now, right? Yeah. He organized a tour to Johnston Atoll. For all the people on that island, they had an annual hippie fest, which is kind of like their own big melee type of thing, you know, like one of those open concert festivals, open field thing. And so Jason Miller was bringing over a few bands. At the time, he was managing Go Jimmy Go, and he was working with us. Back then, he was putting on those mini melee shows at Beach Hall.
Yeah.
And so we were one of those bands that were doing that, and we're doing his inter-island like mini tours and stuff. And so we went along too. And that's where we became friends with Go Jimmy Go, playing a bunch of shows, getting really drunk, partying together. Soon after that tour, Exit 24 broke up. So Exit 24 was from 98 to 99. And so I was looking for a band again. And so I figured, you know what, I'll email Go Jimmy Go. Like, that's one of our newest friends. And I say, hey, you know, I know you guys are working on your first album. I know you guys just have one horn player right now. So if you need some help, you know, let me know. And I emailed this to probably Jason Miller or the guys or whatever. And then Jason Miller emails me like a day or two later saying, hey, I talked to the guys. You're in the band now. We have these shows coming up. You need to come to these practices. That was back in 1999.
From 1999, you were part of Go Jimmy Go.
Yes.
Is that when Pimpbot was happening too?
It happened alongside that. When I joined Go Jimmy Go, I was ecstatic. I was like, oh wow, this is a great band. I can't wait to write with these guys. But that never really happened.
Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, you know, like sometimes you have a slot in your band where you need like a hired gun. That's just the way the chemistry of some bands work out, you know.
Okay.
And the only thing is I wasn't used to that. With Exit 24, it was more like all 6 guys writing, you know, multiple parts and everything. Like, he has a song, he has a song, he has a song. I'm going to write my part. Felt really good, everyone just contributing. So I thought every band was like that. That was my first band that kind of had momentum, you know, and somewhat felt successful. Going into Go Jimmy Go, I was like, yeah, I'm going to write my own parts. Oh, I can't wait to write with you guys. I'm going to start playing. Like, oh, I think I have a part. I think their system was already in place. Now that I can step back and I appreciate Go Jimmy Go for what it was, I understand that it was just the process and the chemistry. You know, the band had its songwriters and that's what worked for them. I was there to play trombone for its live shows to make it like crazy cool. That's what I was good at.
Yeah. Let's talk about Pimpot, the name origin.
It was at a Go Jimmy Go party where it was a bunch of guys that I was previously in bands with. We're all drinking. I was like, man, you know, I kind of want to start up another band on the side of Go Jimmy Go. This was in 2001 because I'm like, man, I miss writing music.
Yeah.
I'm loving these shows I'm playing, but man, I miss writing. So one of the guys from the Creepers, one of the guys from Exit 24, we started jamming. We didn't have a name yet. We bought a case of beer. We had a sheet of paper. One guy writes a name, pass it to your left. Write a name, pass it to your left. We just kept doing that until we had a full sheet, and we just started voting.
What were some of the rejects?
Juice Tiger was one from So I Married an Axe Murderer. And then someone wrote down Kingdom Hall. One that we tried out for a week to see if it would stick. Was In Sync, but not
like those kids from Florida.
No, it was IN space SINK. It looked so ugly when you wrote it out, In Sync. I was like, man, I just love the way how ugly it looks. Like I was trying to imagine.
How did it make you feel? And it's just like that makes me so angry. I am not showing up for our gig.
If we stuck with that name, it would never be like on a professional font. It needs to be hand drawn.
Comic Sans.
Yeah, Comic Sans.
We're coming for you.
Need bold.
Wingding. What's up?
But after a week, we're like, maybe let's try the other one, Pimpot. And that's the one we ended up going with,
I loved it that you finally got to see Conan O'Brien live.
That I was in the studio audience
and there's
wearing...
a picture. Did you float any album or music or anything?
No, but I was wearing the hooded sweatshirt that had the Pimpot logo on it. And there's a few close-ups of me like giving a thumbs up. I had no idea what I was agreeing to when Conan was joking with me and making fun of me. I was just so happy. And he's like 4 feet away from me. And I'm just like gleaming. Like, and I had no idea until afterwards that he was joking around about me wanting to sleep with Robert Pattinson. Yeah, I was like, this guy wants to sleep with Robert Pattinson. I was like, yeah, I do, all day long. You know it, me, this guy. It wasn't until afterwards I'm like, what did I agree to? And I'm like, oh no. And then because I was being so goofy, you know, with the thumbs up, they put me in a Conan promo. They would play it on TNT, right? Because he was on TNT, and they would do that during the Christmas season when a lot of people would be watching Christmas Story during the Christmas Story marathon. Every Christmas, I'd be like, oh man, they're playing that promo again. I'd be like getting all these messages. Prominent? At least 1.5 seconds of me going. all I have is a blurry shot of him high-fiving me.
Wait, was there actual connection?
There was connection. He touched this hand. Yeah, so I started Pimpot because, I just wanted to write. 2001 till 2015, so just shy of celebrating 15 years.
Gosh.
Yeah, I tried to continue it, but it looked like I would have to continue it by myself. Like I'd be the only original member. And so at that point, because no one was returning my emails, I'd be like, okay, I guess maybe I'll just start over.
Yeah,
which I have no problem in doing. I just keep dusting myself off and keep going. That's what life is, you know. So it's fine.
So now you have No Villains Left.
That started this year is going to be 2 years. 2016. Yeah. So
I'm not, like I say often, I'm not that kind of Asian. Math is not strong. So I'm like, I'm 2018. So 2 years ago. Tell me, just give me the year. Why No Villains Left? Where'd that name come from? And how did you gather up these willing participants?
you know,
2016.
2016, I'm like, okay, well, I'm gonna just keep writing songs, you know, because I'm kind of in the rhythm, and in Pimpot, I wrote all this. I would take my guitar with me to my day job, and I would just strum along during, you know, at lunch, and I'm cataloging some songs here and there. And then my old bassist in Exit 24 and in Pimpot, he helped me start Pimpot, and he said, hey, you know, we should jam. And I'm like, yeah, nothing wrong with that, for sure, you know. And we met up a few times, and we're like, okay, yeah, let's go ahead and let's start writing songs together. And then we eventually got Tyler, who used to be in a band called Completely Insane. He didn't have a regular ska gig at the time. So all ska bands, like once, you can be in other bands, but you don't have that ska gig. You need that ska gig. Otherwise you end up looking too cool, you know, you need something to ground you. It'd be cool to have a horn section again. So we called up Brian, who was with us in Exit 24. And so it's cool to have like this old Exit 24 bass again. It's like half of my band that I loved from the 90s. It's back, you know, and now with this new band, we're writing the way we used to. There's strong songwriters in the band, and everybody's just throwing ideas, and we can all write a song together in a studio, which had been impossible for the last 15 years with other bands that I've been a part of. You know, it's always being dependent on one guy to kind of bring it to the table. I feel like a kid again, you know, it's beautiful. And I'm so grateful, because there's so many guys, you know, peers of mine who gave up, you know, the whole thing about being in a band, you know, 10 years ago, you know, so I'm already like way past my prime. And for me to just keep doing this, I have this level of appreciation where it's not like before, where I used to be way more militant with Pimpot. We're like, you know, the album needs to get done by this time so we can go on tour. And now it's like, hey, I'm just happy to be here. This is just amazing. You know, if we're slow on our recording, whatever, it's going to happen, and let's just have fun. Like, this is awesome. It's just great to be here. People that know me are just in the habit of, okay, I'm going to be putting something out. And I'm just kind of in that rhythm of,
What is it? Have you ever had the chance to kind
take
of
a step
reflect
back
on it?
Yeah. I don't know. It's probably an attention thing, you know. I'm an only child, and I like.
Oh, we could have led with that.
I'm always like, look what I did. And you know, growing up on a dairy, it's just the cows that I'm talking to. So, okay, back in the 90s, you remember GeoCities? That was the first place that they were really just handing out accounts where you could make your own web page.
Okay.
I was so excited once I got my first GeoCities account, and that's when I got into the rhythm of blogging and just putting myself out there.
Yeah.
And I noticed that people enjoyed me just sharing everything that I do and not having a wall. Like, I have no privacy.
Days, it's called a filter.
Yeah, yeah. Because back then I used to get really personal. It was blogging before there was blogging. I used to just call it.
Oh, that was your journal.
Like Fern's weekly update. You know, this is pre-Friendster, pre any social media with MySpace, pre-Asian Avenue. This is like IRL, MIRL, like time. There's people that would see me in passing and say, "Oh, I read that thing that you wrote. Wow, it was really personal." I'm like, "Oh, but you read it.
Yeah.
Oh, that you like it." So I just kind of got into that.
Now, are you less public about your goings-ons, especially having two young keiki?
No,
your
I mean,
wife and your family.
As
life?
far as my family, there's some things that I keep private, but it's them. As long as it's to do with me, if it's affecting me like solo, then I don't mind like telling everyone about it. That's fine. It's still me.
Okay. So when you got to KUCD, was it Star 1019? Was that your entree into radio broadcasting?
Well, originally I applied for KSSK to be a promotion assistant. I interviewed with Janie Hartnett. I didn't have enough experience, right? In radio, I didn't know this, but you know, it's pretty much, it's interns that get all the regular paying work.
Voting from within.
Yeah, but I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
And so I'm like, And then something opens up at, I-94, again in promotions, and I'm a runner-up within Clear Channel
Your
at the time.
miscongeniality
Yeah.
is just,
I'm just the runner-up every time. Thank you. Oh no, it's a pleasure just to be interviewed. Thank you. And finally there was a position at Star, and I interviewed
Was the one
for
time
it.
you wore a tie?
No, it doesn't matter what I wore. It's still not an intern. So they're like, no,
You
we
wore
gave
like
it
a
to an
ball
intern.
gag, what was
What like our girl? What like our girl? You're like, nope, sorry. Yeah. And they said, look, you keep coming to all of these. You're always that guy that just is so close. But if you could just intern and then that'll put you in a real running to get a job here. And I said, okay, so I'll intern. And back then, I was already done with college, but back then they weren't as strict on it. So I was interning like post-college. And that's how I got in. I became an event coordinator, then promotion assistant, then promotions director for KUCD. During that time, Hudson and Scotty B were doing all these stunts, and then they were like, hey, Fernando, like promotions director, why don't you come in on the morning show and help us out with this one stunt? It took off. During that first stunt, a caller called in and said, oh, you should call him Fernando the Love Machine. And then it just took off from there. I started doing stunts.
So day one, they suggested Fernando the Love Machine.
Yeah. From that first stunt, I was named. And then it took off from there.
Now it's raining.
Tune in next week